Plug a 2,000-watt space heater into a standard household wall outlet, and it runs safely all day. Behind the drywall, a relatively thin 12-gauge copper wire handles the electrical load without breaking a sweat. Because we safely interact with this setup every day, it creates a dangerous assumption for amateur system designers that 2,000 watts of power behaves identically regardless of the power source. Take that exact same 2,000-watt demand and place it on an off-grid 12-volt battery system powering an inverter. This comparison reveals the mathematical reality. The 2,000-watt household AC load draws about 16 amps through that thin 12-gauge wire. The exact same 2,000-watt load on a 12-volt DC system draws roughly 167 amps, requiring a massive 2-aught copper cable. Try to apply the AC wire size to the low-voltage DC system, and the physical reality of that current immediately overwhelms the copper. The sheer volume of electrons trying to force their way through the narrow conductor creates intense friction. The copper glows red, the insulation melts away, and the system fails catastrophically. In low-voltage systems, the wattage does not dictate your physical conductor size or your thermal risk. The continuous current does. Failing to calculate the physical difference between AC and DC current behavior is the primary cause of inverter system fires and equipment destruction. Look at the physical layout of a typical off-grid solar setup, focusing specifically on the gap between the battery bank and the inverter. It is common for builders to prioritize expensive inverter technology while treating the connecting cables as a cheap afterthought. Mechanically, these battery cables act as the sole structural conduit for all the potential energy stored in the system. Starve this conduit by using the wrong wire gauge, and the inverter will suffer from nuisance shutdowns, extreme voltage drops, and gradual, irreversible hardware degradation. The fact that these two components usually sit just a few feet apart masks a significant amount of mathematical complexity. To build a stable electrical system, we must abandon guesswork and construct a structural model based strictly on the physics of direct current. We start with the foundational relationship in electrical engineering. Power equals voltage multiplied by current. To determine the precise physical requirement for our cables, we rearrange that equation to solve for the missing variable. Current equals power divided by voltage. This defines a standard 12-volt system. We divide our 2,000-watt demand by our 12-volt baseline. The result is roughly 167 amps. Changed to a 24-volt architecture, the denominator updates, and current drops to 83 amps. It is a direct inverse relationship. By exactly doubling the battery voltage, we cut the required continuous current in half. Recalculating a final time using a 48-volt battery drops the current down to just 41.7 amps. Compared against the original 167 amps of the 12-volt system, the 48-volt setup massively reduces the electrical traffic flowing between the components. Professional designers utilize 24-volt and 48-volt architectures specifically as a strategy to suppress continuous current and shrink physical cable requirements. Every physical conductor has internal resistance. As current forces its way through the copper, that resistance sheds wasted energy into the surrounding air as heat. We calculate that physical heat using the Joule heating equation. Power loss equals current squared multiplied by resistance. This graph plots current against heat loss. Because current is squared, the heat curve accelerates exponentially. Dropping from 24 volts to 12 volts exactly doubles the continuous current. Because it's squared, a 2 times increase in current results in a 4 times increase in heat. To safely absorb and dissipate 4 times the thermal energy without melting, the 12-volt system absolutely demands those massive 2-aught-0 AWG cables. Having the operating voltage quadruples the thermal load. Attempting to run slightly undersized cables on a 12-volt inverter makes physical failure an eventual certainty. Thermal limits govern the required thickness of the copper, but we must also account for the physical length of the cable run. The governing physics here rely on the voltage drop equation. Voltage drop equals current multiplied by resistance. As DC voltage travels across a long cable, physical resistance increases. This resistance actively bleeds off voltage before reaching the destination. Inverters are built with safety parameters, including a strict low-voltage shutdown threshold. The cable resistance actively degrades the voltage in transit, hitting the logic board at a low enough value to trigger the safety shutdown, even while the battery bank is fully charged. The system operator experiences a ghost problem. The system repeatedly cuts power, leading them to falsely conclude their batteries are damaged or failing. High current through long cables bleeds off enough voltage to mislead the inverter sensors, hiding the true physical state of the battery bank. The 2,000-watt baseline we have calculated thus far only dictates continuous, steady-state operation. Real-world mechanical applications introduce transient surge loads, typically generated by refrigerators, air conditioners, and heavy power tools. During these startup events, a 2,000-watt inverter can demand 4,000 watts. The cables must be thick enough to absorb these massive, temporary current spikes. However, system failures rarely occur in the middle of an intact cable. The geographic point of highest risk is always at the physical terminations, the lugs and the battery posts. This animation illustrates electron flow across a loose or poorly crimped terminal. The physical gap acts as a severe structural choke point, forcing the electrons into a localized traffic jam that spikes resistance exactly at the connection. When we apply the heat equation to this bottleneck, the results are highly destructive. Forcing 167 amps into a sudden, localized resistance spike generates enough thermal energy to melt metal connectors and ignite surrounding materials. A mathematically verified, perfectly sized cable is rendered completely useless if the physical termination points act as thermal bottlenecks. Selecting wire gauge is an exact thermal and electrical calculation. It requires precise adherence to the numbers, not rough estimates. For a 2,000-watt load at 12 volts, continuous current is 167 amps, requiring 2/0 AWG cable. At 24 volts, current halves to 83 amps, using 1/0 gauge cable. At 48 volts, current drops to 42 amps, needing only 4-gauge wire. But even with verified wire gauges, one unpredictable risk variable remains in any off-grid layout: a catastrophic short circuit originating from the battery bank itself. In a short circuit, the battery bank instantly dumps massive fault currents into the wiring. Unless forcefully interrupted, the copper conductors will literally vaporize. This schematic details the required mechanical failsafe. An inline, DC-rated fuse must be installed directly on the positive cable, physically located as close to the battery terminal as possible. You cannot rely solely on the inverter's internal safety circuits. The primary physical disconnect must exist at the power source. Strictly calculating the physics of current, heat loss, and resistance creates a stable, professional-grade power system instead of a volatile fire hazard.